One of the most storied rivalries in LFL history takes center stage tonight. It's the Los Angeles Temptation battling the Chicago Bliss on LFL Football Night.
I just want to be given the chance.
You were the pioneers that built women's football.
The opportunity to succeed. Or even to fail.
You are the league of their own.
Figure out what the you need to do mentally to be able to sacrifice everything for the girl next to you.
You better knock the shit out of her.
Put the hurt on them first. Keep them on the ground. Stick your foot on their throat.
Welcome inside the booth of LFL Football Night. Mitch Mortaza joining you. And what a way to start the 9th season of the LFL. One of the iconic matchups, the Chicago Bliss hosting the Los Angeles Temptation. Now, both of these franchises coming into tonight with some concerns. They're missing some key players from the lineup. For Los Angeles, Cynthia Schmidt, the all-fantasy wide receiver, still nursing a neck injury from the 2017 season. But the biggest blow could be at quarterback. Ashley Salerno lost once again from the lineup for an off-the-field issue. We'll see how that impacts this team. Her return is also in doubt. For Chicago, all-fantasy wide receiver A.J. Johnson, who had a breakout season last year, is gone this year for personal issues. Then perhaps the biggest blow to them is Christelle the Ferrari Harris, the legendary running back. Some say the best running back the game has ever seen, packed her bags and went to Atlanta via free agency. Now, with that said, I bring in my broadcast partner, Bobby Hugo. Now, Bobby, of these two losses, now 4 losses across both teams, who's it going to impact the most?
They are definitely some all-star players. It's going to impact both teams tonight. With the loss of Christelle the Ferrari Harris for Chicago, I mean, that is huge. It's some big shoes to fill for Javelle Thompson, the third-year veteran. She's good, but she lacks the athleticism, the speed, the quickness of the Ferrari. I expect her to play well tonight, though. We'll see. For Los Angeles, Tui Suanoa, the head coach, and the LA fans, they have to be frustrated. Here we go again. Their franchise quarterback, Ashley Salerno, is out because of off-the-field issues. Tui Suanoa, a lot of people think that chaos is created because of his culture in Los Angeles. He lets Salerno do what she wants. This is twice now. She is out for the game. Who knows when she's going to come back?
Now, in the absence of Ashley Salerno, Kiera Patterson steps in, the second-year backup quarterback. Your thoughts on her?
Well, she's adequate. We both saw her start a couple games for Los Angeles. She did well, won some games, and she's one of the best backups in the LFL, but she is just that, a backup quarterback. She's big, she can throw, she can run, but we'll see how she plays tonight. She's going to need a lot of help.
Now, that's one of the points. Her physical condition is going to come into question. She didn't look good here in the pregame warm-ups from what you and I saw. Now, let's talk to you betting folks out there. There is a betting line on this game. You've got Chicago at a 5.5-point underdog coming into this game. Sorry, a 5.5-point favorite. So with that being said, what are the keys to this game?
Well, I think it comes down to the quarterback play of Jane Caldwell. She played okay last year. She had a great team around her, but she did not play well in the Eastern Conference Championship game. Not well at all. But to her credit, during the offseason, she worked hard with quarterback coach Matt Pike on her fundamentals. I expect her to play well tonight. For Los Angeles, though, it's going to come down to Carmen Borso, the F-150. She needs to put that offense on her shoulders and go to work, kind of like Stevie Schnorr does in Nashville.
All right, Bobby Hugo, it is time to buckle in as we kick off the 2018 season. It's the silver and black Los Angeles Temptation versus the Chicago Bliss. Say it with me. Kickoff is next. Back to LFL Football Night on a chilly evening here in Chicago, Illinois, as we get ready for the 2018 season of the LFL. A pair of iconic teams, Los Angeles Temptation and the Chicago Bliss. Lily Cranston gets us underway with a low-lying kick into the end zone. That is Tamika Robinson, the phenom rookie. And we're going to get our first look at Jane Caldwell. In fact, we visited with Caldwell earlier to talk about 2017.
When I look back on the 2017 season, the only thing that comes to mind is the Eastern Conference Finals game. It was the most important game of the year, and I failed my teammates. This has nothing to do with them, it's all on me, and I take full responsibility for that. So all I can do is just forget about that and make sure I don't make the same mistakes that I did last year.
Caldwell definitely put in the work during the offseason, not only with quarterback coach Matt Pike, but also with Dennis Giles from Arizona.
And how about that start for the Aussie quarterback? A quick bubble screen that completed to Shabria Civilian for 13 yards and a Chicago first down.
I like the call by OC Dave Mills. A quick screen, Civilian, a solid gain, and confidence for Jane Caldwell.
A 1st and 10 neckline tackle. Christina Sagarmanga as we meet Chicago's offense.
Brittany Wilson, center.
May Gamble, tight end.
Quincy Hewitt, tight end.
Tamika Robinson, wide receiver.
Shabria Civilian, wide receiver.
JaVale Thompson, running back.
Jane Caldwell, quarterback.
The big question for Chicago, can running back JaVale Thompson fill the big shoes left by Christelle Harris?
Thompson carrying for 4 yards as we meet LA starters.
Tiana Anderson, defensive end.
Christina Sagarminaga, defensive end.
Megan Hansen, middle linebacker.
Lily Gramston, safety.
Danielle Harvey, safety.
Hannah Gotho, corner.
Agam Chichindu, corner.
I would not be surprised if Chicago's head coach Keith Hack went right at the rookie Hannah Gothrow at cornerback.
Now a 1st and 10 and ball at the Los Angeles 11. Jane Caldwell under center. That looks to be going to Tamika Robinson. Or no, that is JaVale Thompson. She'll lose a yard. Megan Hansen, the all-fantasy middle linebacker who stepped in for Mo Gaxiola.
She sure did. She was gap sound on that play. That's what you have to do to stop this solid Chicago running game. Get in the gap. She did right there for a loss. Great play by Hansen.
A loss of 1. That'll push Chicago back to the LA 12-yard line. Now setting up a 2nd and 11. That looks to be Shabria Civilian in motion. Inside handoff to Quincy Hewitt. She'll be limited to a 3-yard carry, setting up a 3rd and 8.
The rookie corner, Gothrow, she didn't go with the motion. She held her ground, and she waited for Hewitt to come right under her with a Y under and made a solid tackle. Really good play by Gothrow.
Now some interesting play selection by Chicago, as they'll need 8 yards and potentially a 1st and goal inside the 1. Currently sitting at about the 9-yard line. Caldwell under center, a design keeper trying to get to the outside. And the Aussie quarterback will pick up 4 yards. Great pursuit by that LA defense.
I'm not sure about that call by Dave Mills. JaVale Thompson, she missed the block on the outside. Now it's 4th and long. You have a quarterback that is good at the medium range passes, and you run her on a quarterback sweep.
A 4th and 4 ball at the LA 5-yard line, as we are nearing the 6-minute mark of the first quarter in a scoreless game to start the 2018 season. Caldwell looking a lot more comfortable in this offense. A vital 4th and 4, and that looked like the entire front line of Los Angeles jumped, and that would give Chicago a 1st down.
Great play by Caldwell, using her voice to draw them off sides.
That is head referee Tom Hugg having some audio issues down on the field. But indeed, that is an encroachment on Los Angeles. That should set them up for a 4th and 1 or a 1st and goal here.
That is good stuff. The veteran using the snap count as a weapon to draw them off sides.
This is a big call early in this game. Looks to be a bunch set here. Almost a power eye up the middle. That is Jane Caldwell, and the ball is loose. Gothrow trying to get to the edge and up the field. What a turn of events and what a stop by this Los Angeles defense.
Wow, LA's defense going like a pack of raccoons and stealing the football, not protected by quarterback Jane Caldwell.
This is interesting. This could be challenged. You could see head coach Tui Soinoa saying, did you see the ball come out? Let's get another look at this from the truck. The ball's loose there. Clearly a fumble, but did she cross the plane?
No, she did not cross the plane. She would have had a touchdown if she would have protected the football. They were pushing her in the end zone. What a play by Gothro coming out of the end zone. Looks like she was going to go coast to coast.
The rookie corner subbing in, as you said earlier, for Chelsea Hart, the all-fantasy corner, comes up big for this defense.
All off-season, quarterback Jane Caldwell worked to stop plays like that. Secure the football, they have a touchdown.
After a 7-play drive, nothing to show for it on the scoreboard, as Los Angeles now taking over with Kiera Patterson. You could see her work from the 2017 season, modest but effective. A 1st and 10 reverse, that is to Delaney Hall. And one of the better defenses you will see in the history of this game, with Kristen Morrison coming up to lay the wood on Hall. On the Los Angeles side, let's get back to talking about Ashley Salerno, and we met with Tui Soinoa.
Ashley Salerno's had so many off-field issues that have affected this team. If he continues, we're just going to outright release her.
Coach Soinoa says that now, but when I talked to him previously, he said that she is the key to this team. You can't have Kiera Patterson coming in, your backup quarterback, and expect to win a championship.
From the shotgun, flanked to her left side, that is the F-150, Carmen Bourseau. And what is the ailment to having to play a backup quarterback? Give the ball to the F-150.
The F-150 is the key to this game. Good blocking up front. Look at that little jump cut right there. That's a pro. She knows how to get yardage. She averaged over 5 and 6 yards a carry last season. For LA to have a chance tonight, she has to play like that.
A nice 9-yard carry. She said she's worked on her vision. She was really a north-south runner. She's learning how to cut now. A 1st and 10 ball at midfield. And Patterson mishandles the snap. That is a loose ball. That might be Chicago football here.
They had an empty set. She totally lost the football. Never got the snap. A huge turnover. You can tell that Kiera Patterson is very rusty. Couldn't even take the snap, and then didn't even jump on it when she fumbled it.
So 2 big turnovers. Coach Soinoa obviously not happy at a golden opportunity at midfield go to waste here. And we'll go to break. We have a scoreless game in Chicago.
LFL Mobile, giving you access to the gridiron goddesses of the LFL with exclusive photos, videos, live game reporting, and fan promotions. LFL Mobile. Download on your Android or iPhone.
Back to LFL football night. Nearly 4 minutes remaining and a scoreless first quarter. We thought this would be competitive. It's living up to that billing to this point. 1st and 10 ball at the Los Angeles 23. Tamika Robinson in motion at the bottom of the screen. Caldwell looking down the field and connecting. Shabria Civilian has fast become Caldwell's favorite target.
Watch the footwork on Caldwell, however. She's been working on this. Look at this timing route. Steps up, goes at the receiver. Civilian outside, keeps it away from Danielle Harvey. Perfect strike by the quarterback, Jane Caldwell. I love that.
A 1st and goal now. Once again, Chicago set up very nicely at the 5 of Los Angeles. They've got to start capitalizing on these opportunities.
This is where in the past Caldwell makes little mistakes. She has to take this ball in.
And she's going to call her own number and try to get to the goal line. They're going to mark her just short. That was a 3-yard carry by the Aussie quarterback. Now keep in mind, Caldwell played a bit of running back with Atlanta. We do have a flag here. We've got a hold on Chicago. We have word from down below the arena audio system is not operating, so we'll interpret for the fans at home, but you can see the hold here. Quincy Hewitt. And then on the right side of the screen, you've got May Gamble bear hugging Christina Sagarmanga.
You can't do that. They both held. You got to keep your hands inside. That's a big mistake by the offensive line of Chicago. They're going in. Now they're way back. They have to put the ball back up in the air.
Yeah, that'll back him up now to about the 16-yard line. Just makes it tougher. We've seen this throughout the entire first quarter. You're set up shop beautifully down on the goal line, and then you start going backwards. This is Caldwell in the open field. Great tackle. Agam Chichindu, one of the better tacklers in this game.
Great call, a naked bootleg, one-on-one, and nobody's going to mistake Caldwell for Lamar Jackson, but what a form tackle by Agam Chichindu, telling her to stay off her lawn. Chichindu, the all-fantasy player, showing her stuff.
Yeah, Agam Chichindu now in her 7th year, one of the more tenured athletes in the league. And year in and year out, you can count on her to have an all-fantasy type performance.
When she steps her game up, there's nobody better, and she can talk trash better than anybody, too.
Ball remains at about the 11-yard line. Caldwell under center, and another penalty. Tom Hug on the call. We've got a delay of game on Chicago. This is not something you're happy about if you're head coach Keith Hack.
Not at all. This is what they want Caldwell not to do. They didn't make the championship last year or win the LFL title, the Legends Cup, because of stuff like this. Look at Hack right there. He is livid as quarterback right now. He can't even speak.
The one thing you got to say about the LFL game, there is no preseason football. So this is really their first look at a football field with an opposition. So you're going to make some of these mistakes.
But they are all veteran players on Chicago.
And look at another bubble screen. This time again to Shabria Civilian. A nice-looking carry. That was a gain of 14 yards.
That gets Caldwell's confidence back. Again, a really good call by the OC for Chicago. Get the ball quick to Civilian. She makes big yardage.
They're testing Agam Chichindu's side a lot, whether it's with the bootlegs or throwing to the left side. That's a bit surprising. Maybe they've seen something on film.
They have. She might have lost a step. She's been playing football a long time in the LFL.
And here's looks like a rugby scrum, and certainly Caldwell familiar with rugby. She did not get in.
This has been Chicago's #1 play inside the 5-yard line for years. Basic quarterback sneak. You have Javelle Thompson pushing Caldwell from behind, trying to get her in, but this time LA's defense was ready for him.
So another test for this Chicago offense. A 4th and goal inside the 1-yard line. They're calling a 3rd and goal, but this is actually a 4th and goal. The handoff to Javelle Thompson. And Thompson getting into the end zone. That'll be the first score of the 2018 season.
Danielle Harvey was there just a split second late. She was there to make the stop, but it was too late. Thompson was in the end zone. First score for Chicago.
Chicago was hell-bent on getting it in on the ground. We've yet to see Jane Caldwell really test down the field except for that one connection with Tamika Robinson.
That one corner pass, that was it, a couple quick screens, but the offensive line of Chicago is killing the defensive line of LA right now. They don't really need the passing game.
LA nursing a lot of injuries, including on the front line. Naja Christmas also missing, one of their stout defensive ends. This is Caldwell, the extra point attempt. That looked to be deflected by the rookie Gothro. Gothro having an impressive first quarter.
One-on-one against one of the best talents in the LFL, Allie Alberts. They tried a back shoulder in the corner of the end zone. The ball was a little bit late, but Gothro with a great play on Alberts.
Chicago in a lot of this league tends to really struggle with the extra point plays. I am shocked that after all these seasons, more effort is not placed into being more successful on the extra point attempt.
100% right. You get complacent when you have Christelle Harris back there. Now with Javelle Thompson, they try the alley-oop to Allie Alberts in the end zone instead of running the ball straight up the line.
From the shotgun, this is another quarterback keeper. This time Kiera Patterson. Patterson showing her wheels off a bit. That was good for 11 yards.
Spread option right here. Rory Derry, the offensive coordinator for LA. Great read. Kiera Patterson goes outside, tries to stiff arm right there. Great play. Now, if they can follow that up with another play and get some momentum, they can get back in this game.
That is an option Patterson gives you, is the ability to scramble. Again, Patterson decide to keep it her own, and now just an ill-advised shovel pass. That looked to be a forward pass, so it should not be a fumble, although Naz Johnson did recover.
A bad read by Patterson. She should have given the ball to Naz Johnson. That was not a pass play. She tried to make something out by throwing it. That should be incomplete.
Head referee Tom Hug indeed calling intentional grounding on Los Angeles. Marissa Galladay with a great edge rush. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter and a 6-0 lead for Chicago. Back to second quarter action of LFL football night. Mitch Mortaza alongside my longtime broadcast partner Bobby Huco. And a good competitive game here.
Really competitive. I would like to see LA throw some more rail shots. Kiera Patterson has a gun. They're running that RPO offense, run pass option. Throw the ball down the field.
LA's offense will get another opportunity here as we meet their starters.
Megan Hansen, center.
Sherry Waga, tight end.
Agam Chichendu, tight end.
Michelle Kinney, wide receiver.
Delaney Hall, wide receiver.
Naz Johnson, running back.
Kiera Patterson, quarterback.
Naz Johnson and Carmen Bourseau need more touches in the second pass, which will open up that passing game.
They did go to Naz Johnson, kind of a thunder and lightning approach here. Carmen Bourseau being the more power back, and obviously Naz Johnson more of a shifty open field runner.
She's a cutter and a slasher. You're right, it's a great combination. Give them both the ball.
A 3rd and 19 handoff again to Johnson. And that front 3, front 4 is totally smelling out the LA run game.
That's got to be frustrating for the wide receivers of Los Angeles. 3rd and 19, and you're running the ball inside. They have Delaney Hall, Marissa Miles, Michelle Kinney. They're not even trying to throw the ball at all.
A 4th and 19. Ball at the 17. They again go to Naz Johnson. What an open field tackle. That is Marissa Galladay. Galladay had an amazing 2017 season, which included an all-fantasy nod.
Galladay can play football. She is a beast. She needs a warning sign on that jersey.
So Chicago once again with great field position here, starting at the Los Angeles 14-yard line.
4th and 19. You have a quarterback that can throw, and you run the option play.
Well, you do have the option of punting if you're backed out inside your 10, but that wasn't the case. You know, and I agree with you. At that point, you've got to wind it and take a shot down the field.
Last year, she threw a lot of long passes for touchdowns, long completions. They're not even trying that tonight.
A 1st and 10, Jane Caldwell under center. That is Robinson in motion. The handoff to Javille Thompson. Thompson looking good in her first game as the full-time starter at running back.
She has some great blocking up front by Hewitt, Gamble, and Wilson, but you're right. There is a new sheriff in town in Chicago, and it's Javille Thompson.
Yeah, look, I don't think anybody's going to forget Christelle the Ferrari Harris anytime soon, nor is Javille Thompson going to make you forget her. But this is a pretty impressive opening for her.
Right, she's having a great game, solid blocking, solid offensive performance by everybody, including the quarterback.
Javille Thompson again getting down all the way to about the, 1-yard line. An 8-yard carry by number 6.
Number 6, that line is blowing out the front of Los Angeles. Right now, they are going backwards. They're on skates. Tui Suinoa cannot be happy with his defense at all.
A 1st and goal, ball at the 1-yard line. This is where Chicago has imploded early in this game. Handoff again to Thompson. Good read. Look at the pursuit up the middle, again by Megan Hansen.
Megan Hansen covering those gaps. They went outside. That's a play they try outside. Javille Thompson has speed, but like you said, not like Christelle Harris. She couldn't get to the edge in time.
So we'll see if Chicago can capitalize. They've certainly had a lot of opportunities that we've talked about throughout the entire first half. Now a 2nd and goal. Thompson in the backfield this time. Why not? The statuesque quarterback, Jane Caldwell, takes it in herself.
I like that play by Caldwell. A lot of times quarterbacks take it real quick and go right over the center. She read where the blocking was. The defense came inside. There was nobody outside. She walked in untouched.
Chicago now lining up for a 2-point conversion. Now in the LFL, extra points, you could either go for a 1-point conversion from the 1, or you can elect to go for a 2-point conversion from the 3-yard line. Chicago very confident here, going for the 2-point conversion, rolling right and finding. That is Robinson in the back of the end zone. The outstanding rookie making an impact early in this game.
Great read by Tamika Robinson. She's settled in the area. You find a hole, you turn around, you show your shoulders to the quarterback, and Caldwell delivers a strike right to the shoulder pad. She's settled in the hole, caught the football, good play.
Where's the ball?
And you could see Coach Tui Suinoa just barking at his bench. He is not happy with the effort thus far, as Chicago has extended its lead now to 14-0.
I have to blame that touchdown on LA offensive coordinator Rory Derry. 3rd and 19, 4th and 19, he calls the spread option play up the middle. That gives Chicago a short field and gives them points.
And that is Carmen Bourseau, really MIA throughout most of this game. The leading rusher for Los Angeles last year, you could see there from the graphic, 10 touchdowns, but has really not been utilized in this game.
Again, back to Rory Derry, you have a back that averages 6.2 for the season, and she doesn't see the football when your starting quarterback is out? Really?
A 2nd and 5 handoff again going to Bourseau. Maybe Rory is actually listening to you and listening to our broadcast here. That time Bourseau held to a yard.
You got Bourseau at 6.2. You have your quarterback here, Patterson, who can throw the deep ball as well as anybody, and you're not using any of their skills. You're trying to do your RPO offense with people that can't run the RPO offense.
Yeah, it looks like this offense is geared for Ashley Salerno, not Kiera Patterson. They didn't really make that adjustment. Now a 3rd and 6, and a little misdirection, finding Sherry Awaga. So scary Sherry Awaga finally giving some life to this offense.
This is what we're talking about. Look at this pass. She plants her back foot, puts it right on the money. Perfect pass. Let's see some more of that, LA, and you'll get back in this game.
A shot in the arm of this offense just when it needed it. Now set up inside the 8-yard line of Chicago. A great opportunity for Los Angeles. An inside handoff, and Ali Alberts all over Agam Chichindu as we meet this athletic defense.
Toya Jerome, defensive end.
Marissa Galladay, defensive end.
Kristen Morrison, middle linebacker.
Teresa Petrozello, safety.
Allie Alberts, safety. Tamar Fennell, corner.
Dominique Collins, corner.
We've spoke about Kristen Morrison in the middle, but we haven't spoken about the safeties. Teresa Petrozello, the new addition, and Allie Alberts, maybe the best combination in the LFL.
An ugly-looking pass intended for Delaney Hall. Kiera Patterson struggling to set her feet.
Well, that's the problem, her accuracy. Dominique Collins, that's another problem. One of the best cover corners in the league. She tried to attack Dominique Collins. Not a good decision by the quarterback.
That incomplete pass now setting up a 3rd and goal. Just a few plays ago, this Los Angeles offense was sitting pretty and now going backwards. And look who that is, the 2017 Defensive Player of the Year, Kristen Morrison.
Wow, if you look at those stats right there, that's why she is last year's Defensive Player of the Year in the LFL, and she still has an upside to her. One of the most talented players I've seen come to this league, making plays like that, and she can even get better.
Very, very young is Kristen Morrison. A lot of football ahead for her. Here's a 4th and goal, and why are you calling a quarterback bootleg from the 14-yard line?
They tried that spread option, the RPO again. The quarterback's not making the right reads, but she's not an option quarterback. She's a thrower. If you do the combination when they started this drive, give it to Bourseau and have her throw play-action passes, you can move the football.
You could see the frustration on the face of Kiera Patterson. She's just not physically or mentally connected to this game right now.
Not at all. The whole team, you can tell they miss Ashley Salerno. Ashley Salerno is a leader. She gets in trouble, but this team revolves around her.
She has been the heartbeat of this team, especially with the retirement of Monique Gaxiola. Ashley Salerno and Agam Chichindu are the real leaders now.
Right, and nothing against Patterson. She's a good backup quarterback, but she is not even close to being Ashley Salerno.
And I'm not sure Chicago's going to get this playoff. We're down to 2 seconds here on the play clock. You could see it in the background. And that's coming out of a timeout. There's really no excuse for that.
Not at all. Coach Hack not happy with his team, his quarterback, or Matt Pike right now.
A 5-yard penalty. That'll push him back to the Chicago 6-yard line, setting up a 1st and 15.
I take that back. That's not on the quarterback. That's all on Matt Pike, the coach. You got to get the play in quick to the quarterback so she can tell the team before the clock goes down.
All right, we're looking at a 1st and 15 here. Jane Caldwell in the shotgun. Poor snap back to her. Good pocket time. Finding a receiver. That is Tamika Robinson. Now, Robinson is very small-statured, but those gloves, I mean, she's got Gronk-like hands.
Gronk-like hands, great play. Watch this. She climbs up in the pocket, sees Robinson coming across. Look at those hands. She could have caught that one-handed. You're right, just like Gronk.
Now, when I visited the training camp in Chicago, Coach Keith Hack said, look out for number 4. She is going to be your breakout star of 2018, and she is not disappointed here in the first half.
Coach Hack told me yesterday she's a combination of Christelle Harris and A.J. Johnson. Just an explosive player.
And they go back to Robinson, who nearly gets decapitated by Sherry Awaga. That'll be a gain of 3 yards.
Sherry Awaga, another beast on that LA team. Watch this hit by Awaga. That's not easy to do. 2 beasts hitting each other.
Yeah, you don't want to get in the midst of number 14. Make that number 15. Sherry Awaga, one of the larger stature, more athletic players in the game.
She's one of the toughest players in the league. Trust me, when your plane's landing, she's not one of those people that claps when it lands.
A 1st and 10. And that is a delayed handoff. Robinson trying to find a gap, nothing doing. Great pursuit by that LA defense.
Right now, this looks like the LA defense of old when they won championships. They're all over Chicago.
We've got another penalty. This will be an encroachment on Chicago. I'm sorry, make that on Los Angeles. That'll help the offense a bit.
The defense does look like they have a spark right there. A bad play on the penalty, don't get me wrong. But they have a spark right now. If they can somehow stop Chicago and get on the points on the board, they can get back in this game.
So now a 1st and 5. Ball at the 24-yard line. Down the field, Jane Caldwell missing her intended target. That looked to be intended for Allie Alberts. Lily Granston in coverage.
One of the top 3 safeties in the LFL, Lily Granston. She read that corner out and jumped on it.
And that should take us to the 2-minute warning here in Chicago, Illinois, with Los Angeles finding some life. Back to LFL football night in Chicago, Illinois. Let's go down to the field.
We're not attacking shit. They're just running right under us. What's Sherry at?
They're not coming my way.
Hey, you're doing fine. Okay? Hey, listen up and get over here. Stop watching the fucking board. Get your asses over here and listen up. They're running right under us.
They're not focused at all on that LA defense. They're watching the scoreboard. That can't happen during a game.
Los Angeles struggling to find its way here. Down 14-0. And they really don't have the offense to play catch-up football with a backup quarterback.
They don't at all, especially with the RPO offense. That's not a quick score offense. They have to open up and throw the ball down the field.
Chicago now taking over a 1st and 10 at about the 17-yard line. Caldwell to the end zone. And connecting, no, deflected. Great coverage that time by Lily Cranston.
I love the play call, play action. You try to get points quick. You go up to your star receiver, Allie Alberts. This actually hits her in her hands. Allie Alberts should have came down with this. That should have been a touchdown for Chicago. And then Lily Cranston picks it off the wall for an interception.
That looked like it may have not even touched the wall. That was off the back of teammate Delaney Hall. But there was an encroachment penalty. All this happened in a very short period of time. And it gives new life to Chicago.
It sure does. And what a pass by Jane Caldwell right off the hands of Allie Alberts.
And wasting no time, the rookie phenom, Tamika Robinson, on a 13-yard carry and a touchdown for Chicago.
Wow, you talk about replacing the Ferrari, Chrisdell Harris. Watch this run by Tamika Robinson. She was breaking ankles all the way into the end zone.
Robinson and Javille Thompson, kind of a running back by committee in absence of Chrisdell Harris.
With the 3 wide receivers they have and these 2 at running back and Caldwell at quarterback, they could be a lot of trouble for a lot of teams in the league this year.
Chicago now lining up for the 2-point conversion again, and they're going to go back to Robinson. Why not? But look at the open field tackle by T.J. Anderson. So that'll keep our score to 20-0.
She tried to switch hands on her own. She fumbled the ball without getting hit. She tried to get in the outside hand and went out.
So that was a 3-play, 39-yard drive, eating up about 2 minutes and 12 seconds and pushing Chicago's lead to 20-0. And now you got to factor, this is a vital drive to get some kind of points here before the half.
They need something going. Things are looking bad for LA right now. The next thing you know, Jim Cantori's going to be on the field.
A 1st and 10, Kiera Patterson. A dangerous pass, nearly intercepted by Allie Alberts.
Wow, that was almost a pick 6 by Alberts. Look at her stats right there. She's as good on defense as she is on offense. We all know her as the all-fantasy wide receiver, but she is sensational at safety.
That incomplete pass now setting up a 2nd and 10. The good news, the clock does stop, and Los Angeles does have both of its timeouts remaining. Ball at the 15-yard line. Patterson now with the handoff to Naz Johnson on a draw play. A decent-looking pickup. That was about 6 yards. Still plenty of time on the clock.
Plenty of time, but does it look to you like Kiera Patterson's balls are floating? Last year, she was throwing darts. Tonight, they seem to be hanging in the air.
She just doesn't have the physical form you could see there. She was a lot leaner, quicker last season. No question about it. 3rd and 4, inside handoff to Agam Chichindu. Chichindu used very sparingly on offense, but finds herself in a starting role tonight.
3rd and 4, they try the Y under to Agam Chichindu again. I hate questioning the OC so many times, but where is Carmen Bourseau, the F-150, not even in the offense right now?
Well, here's a perfect opportunity, a 4th and 1. They have got to convert her. They're going to give a really short field to Chicago's offense. Going down the field on a 4th and 1. You know what? I've kind of sat here and listened to you criticizing the offensive coordinator and the play calling for Los Angeles. Sign me up to that email.
100%. You could call a way better game. You got Carmen Bourseau, the F-150. We saw the stats last year. She averaged over 6 yards a carry, and you're throwing a bomb to nobody there.
You cannot pin this on the personnel of Los Angeles. This is some of the worst play calling, and there's a look at offensive coordinator Rory Dorian. This is the worst play calling I've seen in a long time.
Really, you can't blame the players. If you do what we said to do in the beginning of the game, give the ball to the F-150, play action passes, it'll work.
Now Chicago having just over 38 seconds, little shovel pass. That was a dangerous looking shovel pass, went to Javille Thompson, and Chicago will use one of its timeouts here.
Good read, though, by Caldwell. That was a straight option down the line. The end attacked her. She pitched it out a little bit late, but it got done.
A 2nd and 6 ball at the Los Angeles 20. Plenty of time. And certainly Caldwell has the arm to get this into the end zone.
Matt Pike and Dave Mills, right now, I know they want to go for the jugular and put this game out of reach before halftime.
Yeah, you got to figure with the way Los Angeles' offense is struggling offensively, you put some more points on the board here, and this game is all but over. Caldwell from the shotgun has a receiver, and that looked like it was dropped by Tamika Robinson.
Tamika Robinson should have pulled this in. The ball was a little bit late, but right on target. I can't blame Caldwell on this one. This is right there. You have to pull this in. It's in her hands, pull it in, and you're down on the 5-6 yard line.
You know, I'm really impressed by the touch Caldwell is showing tonight. We've been on her and her passing abilities for most of the 2017 season, but she's really impressed me tonight.
For some of the young quarterbacks around the league, they should watch her because she works hard during the offseason to play like this.
A 3rd and 6 for Chicago now. The pocket collapsing. And that looks like T.J. Anderson again getting to Caldwell.
Danielle Harvey came in quick. She dodges outside of Harvey, though. Nowhere to go, though. T.J. Anderson having a great game. We haven't talked about her much, but she's playing great football.
Meanwhile, the clock continues to run. I'm not sure why Chicago's not calling a timeout here. And now they've got a penalty. Look at the blow to the head. Agam Chichindu mixing it up with Jane Caldwell, and Caldwell not stepping back.
Not at all. That should be another penalty. You can't punch somebody in the head like that. The play was over. Chichindu came out of nowhere and gave the quarterback a cheap shot.
Agam Chichindu not known for being exactly a clean player.
Not at all. She'll talk trash to anybody. Remember her rookie year when she walked by a mirror and took a swing at herself?
And on that note, we are officially at halftime here of week 1 of LFL football night. A crazy ending to one half of football. I am not sure what happened here because Chicago had a timeout. I don't know if they elected to use it. Apparently they're going to give them one more play here.
Well, there's confusion because you're right. It looked like time ran out.
And that's what they're going to say here. The clock is going to run out on a very bizarre ending to this half. Coach Keith Hack not happy with the officiating crew. That will bring us to halftime as Chicago is up 20-0. Back with halftime festivities.
That's fucking horrible football right there, guys. Horrible. All that talking, all that chattering. You guys ain't doing a fucking thing out there. Nothing. You're lucky the score's only 20-0. That shit could be a lot worse right now. You guys are just giving them the game.
A look inside the Los Angeles locker room as we welcome you back to LFL football night. The very handsome Mitch Mortaza alongside Bobby Huco. And Chicago dominating on the scoreboard 20-0 here at halftime. And for Los Angeles, you knew they were without their franchise quarterback, Ashley Salerno. That was going to impact them, folks. And Chelsea Hart, the all-fantasy corner, also out of this one. But I think we still expected a more competitive game here.
Absolutely. We all thought Kiara Patterson, she played well last year. When she got in games, she won some games for Los Angeles. But tonight, she showed up out of shape, really rusty, no points on the board. And it really didn't even matter that Chelsea Hart wasn't in the game because up front, Chicago's offensive line, all their scores were on runs, touchdown runs. LA's defensive line didn't show up either.
Yeah, the big uglies up front for Chicago, they really counted for 55 yards on the ground through one half of football. What is Chicago doing right beyond that?
Well, right there, you said it. 55 yards on the ground. Quincy Hewitt, May Gamble, Brittany Wilson, they are destroying a defensive line. That's the game right now on the ground. Jane Caldwell doesn't even have to throw.
Yeah, Chicago's scoring, in fact, all of their scoring in the first half on the ground. Let's take a look at those. First, it was Javelle Thompson, the heir apparent to the Ferrari, coming up big with a 1-yard touchdown run. Into the second quarter, it was the Aussie, Jane Caldwell, with her own 1-yard run. Horrible Australian accent there. This is Tamika Robinson, the phenom rookie, a 13-yard touchdown run. That brings us to our halftime score. of 20-0 as we look at beautiful downtown Chicago and our halftime stats.
The stats that stick out, the 5 penalties by Los Angeles compared to 1 for Chicago. That's killing LA. And the total offensive production, Chicago has doubled Los Angeles.
As the teams return to the field, we get you ready for the second half. Kickoff is next. Back to LFL football night for third quarter action as we get a look at our halftime comparison of the two quarterbacks.
Kiara Patterson only 1 out of 4, 22 yards. And then Jane Caldwell almost perfect, 4 out of 5, 55 yards, and should have been perfect because that pass to Tamika Robinson should have been brought in.
Dominique Collins with a nice deep kick will get us underway as Los Angeles will start from its own 15-yard line.
LA's got the talent around Patterson. They have to put it all together. Coach Tui Suinoa, he's got to be frustrated right now. Here's a coach that won championships in LA, and they have no points on the board tonight.
This offense does need to kick it into another gear. And as we mentioned in the first half, as much as we got on Kiara Patterson, this young lady has the arm to stretch the field, and they really have some speedsters on the outside, like a Delaney Hall, who's in motion right now. The handoff to Hall, a good-looking carry. That is 5 yards. That's a weapon they really have not gone to all game.
You're 100% right. We saw Kiara Patterson last year throw rail routes, bombs to Cynthia Schmidt on the money, on time. She can throw the length of the field, but for some reason, Rory Derry doesn't want to try it tonight.
Still a lot of time left in this game, nearly 20 minutes of football. I think at this point, if you're Los Angeles, you just got to focus on moving the sticks here. That was a positive gain on first down. Now come back with another one. A 2nd and 5, handoff, Naz Johnson. And Johnson just does not have the size with that big interior defense led by Chantel Taylor.
Naz Johnson is a scat back. She's a great combination when you have Bourseau in the backfield with her. You have the power, then you have a scat back. But by herself, they can tee off on her.
And how about this Chicago defense? They were the #1 ranked defense last year, and they look even more athletic and more sound this season.
Right, and they brought in Teresa Petrozzillo at safety. They are the best defense, arguably, that I've ever seen in this league.
A 3rd and 3 handoff. They love Naz Johnson, and why not? The little speedster, number 20. That'll be good enough for a Los Angeles first down.
Naz Johnson takes the read option right there. It looks like she finally unhooked the trailer, breaks it almost all the way. Great run by Johnson.
If it were not for the tackle of Teresa Petrozzillo, Johnson could still be running. A 1st and 10 at the Chicago 21. They're going to fake it to Johnson. This was a quarterback keeper. And Patterson slow to get up here. Chantel Taylor doing a little showboating. I really hope that Patterson didn't pop a knee or something here.
I know that feeling. Her foot got stuck in the turf, did not move. And if the foot doesn't move, your knee goes out. That is not a good sign right there for Patterson. Watch this, nobody hits her. She just puts her foot down and the knee gives.
That would be a big blow to this offense, already without its starting quarterback, Ashley Salerno. And to your point, here she is. It's that plant foot. It just gets stuck in the turf. And hopefully that's not a knee. We will take a break from Chicago.
LFL Mobile, giving you access to the gridiron goddesses of the LFL with exclusive photos, videos, live game reporting, and fan promotions. LFL Mobile. Download on your Android or iPhone.
Back to LFL football night, and that's a good sign. Kiara Patterson, who went down before the break, is now just limping off the field.
Kiara Patterson, that's a good sign right there. When she planted that, I thought it might be ligaments, but thank God she's walking off the field. Now with this youngster playing quarterback right now, Michelle Kinney, I mean, she's highly rated, just hasn't played. She's raw. A great two-way quarterback. She can run, she can pass, she can run the RPO offense. She just needs time.
And not wasting any time. That is Michelle Kinney looking for Sherry Awaga. Just overshot her target, but that's a good sign. Without a real warm-up to step in and take a shot down the field.
Absolutely. You see what it did? They're so used to running the football. You do play action, Teresa Petrozzillo came flying up from safety, even though it was double coverage behind. At least Michelle Kinney gave it a shot. It's going to separate that defense, get the safeties thinking they have to stay back.
Kenny now under center, a 3-back set, kind of a wishbone. Handoff to Bourseau, not fooling anybody, especially number 7, Kristen Morrison.
Not much blocking up front on the Los Angeles side. You have to double team Kristen Morrison. Watch her fight through this one-on-one block. You just can't do it. She's the best there is. Nowhere to go for Carmen Bourseau.
I just love the athleticism. We've said it time and time again of Kristen Morrison and what she can become in this league. And by the way, off the field, one of the best people you'll meet.
Right, and right there, most linebackers can't go one-on-one like that and go sideline to sideline. She can do it all.
A 4th and 13, Kenny, no shot there. Dominique Collins in coverage, one of the better cover corners in the game.
A positive sign, though, for LA. You see the strength of Kenny's arm. If she refines that, she can play football.
Yeah, she is just a raw talent. You could see her physical makeup. She can definitely play the position. And with the unknown factor of when is Ashley Salerno returning and Kiera Patterson, we're going to get a check on her through LFL Medical here. But you may be in a really tough situation after this game if you're Los Angeles at the quarterback position.
Absolutely. You see the look on Tui Suinoa's face right there. He looks like he wants to take a long walk off a short pier. He doesn't know what to do at quarterback.
And Chicago not wasting any time from the shotgun. Caldwell back to pass over the middle, had a receiver, overshot the receiver. A golden opportunity here for Lily Cranston, and just dropping the interception.
A high throw by Caldwell. Cranston should have picked this off. There's no way you let that go. That could have been a big play for LA.
Those are opportunities you need when you are down 20-0.
Surprising how Chicago came out throwing. You'd think they'd run some clock off right now, but you got to hand it to the confidence now they have in Caldwell.
Call it confidence when you're up, and you call it bad play calling when you're down. I really think you got to keep this on the ground. They did connect there. A nice-looking completion to Shabria Civilian, but to your point before that, this is a point where you just run the clock.
Right, take some clock off. But again, it's the confidence of your quarterback. A year ago at this time, they would totally be running the football, but they would not be calling these plays if they didn't think Caldwell could complete the pass.
Agree to disagree. 3rd and 1, ball at the Los Angeles 15, a toss play, and this will go to Javille Thompson. Look at the open field moves of number 6, an 11-yard carry. It's great to have a Javille Thompson waiting in the wings when you lose a Christelle Harris.
She can certainly play football. Speak of the devil, there's Christelle Harris. Right now, I guarantee she is such a competitor. She wants to be in the game.
A legendary running back. Her career is not over. Christelle Harris, as we mentioned in the pregame show, has signed with the Atlanta Steam, so she will play football this year.
She will definitely play. I know Coach Hack is not happy about that because he cut her because she was missing practices. But you know what? Christelle wants to play ball, so she signed with Atlanta.
A 1st and goal, another Javille Thompson run, this time limited to 2 yards.
Can you imagine that game when Chicago plays Atlanta?
That is going to be a rivalry game, and there's the 2017 stats, a 9.1 average per carry. That makes it a little bit of an easier decision if you're deciding whether to part ways with Christelle Harris.
I think that had a lot to do with it. Coach Hack knew the talent he had behind Harris, and he wasn't scared to cut her. A lot of coaches would have been scared.
Chicago going back to Javille Thompson, and Miss Thompson meets Sherry Awaga, who is quietly having a whale of a football game.
She is having an outstanding football game, as is Lily Cranston coming up from that safety position. She is not scared to hit, a lot like Allie Alberts. Both those players for LA, they're having a great game.
Although it looked like Cranston caught Sherry Awaga right across the head. Now a 3rd and goal. We are nearing the 3:30 mark of the 3rd quarter. A poor center exchange between Brittany Wilson and Jane Caldwell. We've seen this before. Chicago tends to really unravel inside a goal line play.
The first series of the game, they're going in, they had problems. Right now, here we go again. If there's a problem for Jane Caldwell, this is it. In key situations, she fumbles the ball like that. It can't happen. You cannot fumble the football inside the 5-yard line.
A 4th and goal, a huge opportunity for Chicago to put Los Angeles away. Jane Caldwell rolling right. That is intended for Tamika Robinson and broken up beautifully by Lily Granston.
They thought it was going to be man-to-man coverage with Granston staying inside on Civilian. She saw Tamika Robinson coming outside. She held her ground. Fantastic play by Lily Granston. Wow.
I got to tell you, this defense for Los Angeles is doing everything it can to keep this game close.
Right, they could have sealed the deal right there. They get in the end zone. I know Coach Keith Hack cannot be happy about that. Inside the 5 with this talent, and you don't get any points.
A good sign as Kiera Patterson returns to the field after that scare of an injury earlier. This is a little release play to Sherry Awaga, and you got to wonder, that ball kind of floated. Can Patterson really plant that back foot?
Does not look like it. You're right, it floated a lot. This is a tight end release. You have to throw that low and throw a bullet, or she's going to get her head taken off by Allie Alberts. Not a good pass at all. I would have actually kept Kinney in the game. She's got talent. She can run, throw. She needs experience. Maybe give LA a spark.
A 2nd and 10 after that incomplete. An inside handoff, and that defense is not buying a large portion of Los Angeles' offensive attack, which is that inside handoff, that misdirection, and Sherry Awaga clearly frustrated.
Not at all. They are teeing off on the backs and the tight ends because there's no deep threat. At least when Kenny was in there, she tried to throw over the top. The safeties came up. But right now, they're just teeing off on the backs and tight ends.
A 3rd and 11. Ball remains at the Los Angeles 2-yard line. So LA really backed up here. This is a draw play to Nas Johnson finding an opening. Johnson really the only bright spot on this offense.
100% correct. She's making something out of nothing. Inside handoff again. There's nothing there. In fact, Allie Alberts came with a safety blitz. She just missed a tackle. These two missed a tackle. That's all Nas Johnson. No help from her teammates.
That was a good kick out block by Agam Chichindu. But absolutely, Nas Johnson just creates space for herself. A 4th and 4, and we've got another penalty here. This could be a false start on Los Angeles, which would be devastating. Potentially making a 4th and 4 into a 4th and 9.
Michelle Kinney on the outside looked like she jumped at wide receiver. I think that ball's coming back.
That is indeed the call from head referee Tom Hugg. Tom Hugg experiencing some audio difficulties throughout the night. So we're helping out, Tom. Do we get a piece of the check, or?
I think we should get a piece of that check.
A 4th and 9 now. Los Angeles electing to punt it, partially deflected. And that'll be fielded by Dominique Collins. Great field position once again for Chicago.
I know we've been all over Rory Derry all night for his play call, but wait a minute.
Never.
4th down, you got your quarterback with an injured knee punting the football. Her right knee, she injured it. She's limping, and you have her punting the football. And what happens? It goes 12 yards.
Lily Granston is really known as the kicker for Los Angeles, so that was a bit surprising. Tui Soinoa now getting after the officials. He probably should be getting after his offensive coordinator from the night that he's had tonight.
It's been a bad night for Rory Derry, and that play right there, the quick kick or the 4th down kick, it's supposed to surprise your opponent and pin them deep in their own territory. Instead, here's Chicago almost in the red zone going in.
Jane Caldwell under center from the 16. Now checking down, that's Javille Thompson. A nice looking connection for 6 yards. The clock continues to run as we get near the end of the 3rd quarter.
I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with Jane Caldwell tonight. Yeah, she had a couple fumbles where she should have not fumbled the football. But all in all, she looks good, throwing the ball on time and good leadership. The team looks sharp. I'm really impressed.
Caldwell definitely in more command of this offense than I think either of us have seen since she's been moved to Chicago. A good offseason work regimen with quarterbacks coach Matt Pike will do that for you. That is Jane Caldwell deciding to keep it herself. A gain of 6 yards down to the Los Angeles 10-yard line.
Straight down the line option. She made the right read again. They went out on the pitch back. She cut it up, not with a lot of speed, but she got positive yardage. Another good play by Caldwell.
And you could see that Los Angeles defense starting to huff and puff. It seems like they turned the ball over for their offense, and they have to go right back out on the field. That'll do it for us here for the third quarter. And you could see Coach Keith Hack still not happy despite being up 20-0. It has been a physical back and forth game with Los Angeles trying to inch their way back into it. Back for the fourth quarter after this. Back to fourth quarter action, getting you pumped up. Los Angeles trying to mount a rally, down 20-0. On the call, Mitch Mortaza and Bobby Huco, with Chicago in great field position of 1st and goal. Caldwell back to pass, nobody open. Trying to get to the goal line, Megan Hansen. The Dark Angel meets her at about 2-yard line.
They tried to sneak Tamika Robinson behind the linebackers, but they both went with Robinson. A good read by Caldwell, not throwing the football and possibly turning it over. She put her head down and tried to get in the end zone, but she was stopped.
I like what I've seen from this LA defense. They've bent a lot, but they haven't necessarily broken. They've had several goal line stands, and let's see if they can muster up another one here. 2nd and goal from the shotgun, a design keeper. Look at the pursuit angle. Danielle Harvey, the 6-year veteran, getting after Quincy Hewitt afterwards. This LA defense not ready to pack it in.
I agree with you 100%. If the offense did anything tonight, this would be a good game. The defense playing with fire, getting in fights, getting scrappy like the old LA teams do. If anything was happening on offense, it would be a fun football game.
That'll be interesting. These two match up again in May in Los Angeles. The big question is going to be, is Ashley Salerno going to be in the lineup?
That's a huge question right there. And can Michelle Kenny get ready to play by that time if she's not?
A 3rd and goal. Caldwell, quick dart over the middle. I don't think Caldwell allowed the play to develop. That was intended for Tamika Robinson. More jawing back and forth.
She got lucky there. She was on her back foot, falling back. There was nothing on that pass. Thank God it was in the ground, or it could have been a pick.
Now a 4th and goal. Several opportunities for this Chicago team to really put Los Angeles away. A 20-point margin in the LFL can easily be overcome in a quarter of football.
Absolutely. This is where Chicago misses Christelle the Ferrari Harris inside the 5. They don't have that power back.
And Jane Caldwell has no hope of getting to the goal line. This LA defense is in mid-season form. And to your point earlier, if they get any help offensively, they return to being one of the elite teams in this league.
Ashley Salerno can do that. She has that kind of talent. The team loves playing with her.
That's Coach Hack. Interesting. He's looking up at the coach's box and wondering about the play calling here.
I don't blame him. Inside the 5-yard line again, they come out with no points. I think that's the 3rd time tonight that's happened, and it keeps LA in the game. Tui Suinoa right there. He is happy this score is only 20-0. 7:51 left in the LFL. That's nothing.
Now, if you do open it up here, who do you like them targeting at the receiver or running back? Anybody that can blow this wide open.
There's no question about it. I would go right now. They haven't even tried to go to Marissa Miles right now or Delaney Hall. Down the field. Throw the ball down the field, vertical.
Instead, a draw play to Carmen Bourseau. And it's just been really tough going to get any yardage, especially up the middle, when you've got a Kristen Morrison at middle linebacker, Marissa Galladay at DN, and Chantel Taylor at DN. Oh, and by the way, one of the better tackling safeties in Allie Alberts.
Right, we haven't even talked about Chantel Taylor, one of the all-time best at defensive end. They are stacked on defense all over the place. And then you put in Teresa Petrozzillo. Wow, this team is going to be unstoppable on defense.
A 1st and 10, make it a 2nd and 7. Kiera Patterson remains in the shotgun, dropping back to pass, has a receiver, and connecting. That is Melissa Miles. You referenced her just a minute ago. They really like her development this offseason, but they haven't looked at her either.
Not at all. She has the speed to go deep. Play action. I love that play action to give it to Bordeaux the first play. Play action second. Look at the safeties. Allie Albert sucked underneath. This should have been 6 points. Good play coming over by the cornerback, but the play action pass sucked up Allie Albert's wide open. Great play.
Miles could have fair caught that ball. That ball hung forever. Otherwise, that would have been 6 points. Another draw play. Naz Johnson. Johnson having a hell of a ball game and gets into the end zone as Los Angeles, with 6 minutes remaining, finally gets on the board.
That shows you the kind of talent LA has. Explosive talent like this. Naz Johnson taking it in for 6. One play before, Melissa Miles almost going in for 6. The bomb we've been looking for all night long from Kiera Patterson, and bam, they're in the end zone.
Now Los Angeles going for the 1-point conversion. A bad snap back to Patterson and just lofting it up. Patterson either is not confident in that knee or just is not mentally connected to this at all.
Well, she can't plan on it, there's no question. But even before she got injured, her balls were floating.
You could see the constant discussion back and forth between Patterson and Rory Derry, the offensive coordinator for Los Angeles.
Wow, Rory Derry right now, we're all over him. He might need a petting dog after tonight, the way this offense is performing.
He's newer. You know, he took on the task of offensive coordinator this year, so he's learning on the fly here. A 1st and 10, Caldwell back to pass. Down the field, has a receiver. And that is one of the knocks on Caldwell, her accuracy down the field.
That's what they've been working on. She has great form there, but you can't miss a wide open receiver. Tamika Robinson going to walk in the end zone. She is so open you actually can underthrow it just to get the ball complete.
We've got another penalty, this time on Los Angeles. So it'll be a 1st and 5 for Chicago. Discipline has been another issue for LA in terms of penalties. They had 5 penalties for 27 yards just in the first half.
Right, that puts them way behind. On the other side, though, with Chicago, they only had 1 penalty. And I really like the wide open offense with Matt Pike and Dave Mills throwing the ball. They're not running the clock out. They're trying to go for the jugular and score some more points.
A 1st and 5 crossing pattern. Great defensive play there by Agam Chichindu to dislodge the ball from the receiver.
Wow, bad throw here by Caldwell. She's lucky she didn't hurt her receiver. Throwing it right into coverage. Chichindu right there, trying to take her head off as usual. Good play by Agam.
Shabria Civilian might have a couple words for Jane Caldwell when she gets back in that huddle.
That's right, like don't do that again ever.
A 2nd and 5. Caldwell in this offense going back to work. She remains in the shotgun. Receiver split to the right side. Again down the field, finding a seam. That is Tamika Robinson. Touchdown, Chicago.
What an unbelievable throw by Caldwell. A skinny post underneath the safeties, and a great play by Tamika Robinson, not trying to go on top of the safeties. Catches the ball underneath, right on the money. Splits the safeties, goes in for 6. Awesome throw by Caldwell.
And we've talked about this before. Does Keith Hack surprise you with his coaching staff time and time again to find this young talent out there? And that is a look at Coach Keith Hack's coaching staff, one of the deepest in the league. They keep finding talent like Kristen Morrison, Marissa Galladay, now Tamika Robinson. One of the best programs, if not the best, at recruiting.
They don't stop. They don't stop at all. Quarterback draw here. Great play by Caldwell. Inside the 10-yard line, nobody takes care of the quarterback. Nobody covers the quarterback. She goes in for the extra points.
And that extends Chicago's lead to 28-0. And all but does it here for Los Angeles, I would think.
You made a great point, though. The coaching staff, other teams need to do this. They have Matt Pike on the quarterback, Mills OC. They got Myron Knox at defensive backs, Dixon offensive line, Battaglia, DiBiase. When you have that many coaches, you can individualize players, and they come together as a team, and it shows. They played solid football.
Let's see if Los Angeles kind of throws the towel in here or decides to compete in the final 4 minutes, 48 seconds. Kiera Patterson looks to be at quarterback still. The million-dollar question is going to be her health going into that May rematch versus Chicago.
She's moving pretty good. I'm surprised. I thought she was really hurt.
A crossing pattern connecting again with Naz Johnson. Johnson really playing great football.
Yes, she is. Great catch, great throw. This is what Patterson can do. I don't know why they have her trying to do the option. Put her in the pocket like this and let her throw BBs like that.
A 10-yard connection with Naz Johnson. Johnson missed most of the 17 season. A welcomed addition back to this offensive lineup. Kiera Patterson back to pass down the middle. A dangerous, ill-advised pass. And that is intercepted by the longtime veteran, Teresa Petrozulo.
She has an open receiver, Claude. If she gets this ball up a little bit, it's another touchdown. The ball comes down. You can see number 3 in the back behind the coverage, but great play by Teresa Petrozulo, the ball hawk, coming down with the ball.
How about getting it at the highest point? Something that's taught every D-back. I remember it back in high school.
Absolutely right. Go up and get the ball the highest point, bring it down. Petrozulo is one of the best at it.
I made a high school reference and you didn't even follow up with that. I was hoping to work that in a little. A 1st and 10 incompletion. Caldwell intended for Javille Thompson. So this offense now is just kind of 7-on-7 football. Open it up, have fun.
Right, but looking back at LA, I'm telling you, if they would have done that the whole ball game, use the quarterback the way she could be effective in the pocket, throwing balls down the field, then you put it in running games, it could have been a lot closer.
Well, let's hope the LA staff kind of watches this and takes our advice to heart, because you and I really know what we're talking about.
Well, you know what's crazy? The LA coaching staff, the same staff, did this last year with the same quarterback, throw the ball down the field, and she was throwing it.
A 2nd and 10. And I never thought I'd say this, but Jane, the gunslinger, Caldwell, they're really allowing her to have fun with this defense.
She's having fun. She missed a couple. That touchdown pass to Tamika should have been one. Allie Alberts dropped one. I mean, this could be a lot more points for Chicago. But I'm going to tell you what, this is a good, solid LA team. They'll be back. You're right. If Salerno comes back, they can run with anybody. The defense is solid. There's talent on the offense. Tui Suinoa just has to put them all together.
Oh, there's a lot of football. I don't think a lot of people thought without Ashley Salerno, without Chelsea Hart, without Cynthia Schmidt, that they were going to win this game. But you would have liked to have seen them be a little more competitive.
Ashley Salerno is one of the best competitors I've ever seen in the LFL. This team revolves around her, even when she's not playing great. They like her in the huddle. She's a leader. She's a competitor. She'll get in anybody's face. They need her back.
A 3rd and 10 attempt, that to Tamika Robinson. You think they like this rookie? They keep looking for her, and Jane Caldwell's got to love it.
Jane, this is great work for Jane Caldwell. You can't only get so much game action, and throwing the ball around like she's doing, this is great for her.
A 4th and 10, and that is deflected. That was a punt. Poorly handled by Los Angeles. Now Delaney Hall gets on it. So Los Angeles will retain possession. Back to about midfield. Let's see if this gets deflected.
It was a direct snap right to Dominique Collins. Poor form punting the ball. She threw the football up, and her foot couldn't get up high enough to hit it. Not executed well at all. I know they tried that just so they could say they tried it. You know, they might need it later on in the year, but not very good for Chicago.
That'll look to be Katrina Nicholson with the deflection. So Los Angeles will go back to work from midfield with Kiera Patterson, number 1, still remaining in the game.
This game, I hate to say it, is not over. If they would use her to throw the ball right now in the end zone, they can score quick.
Man, you are the ultimate optimist, Bobby Hugo. 1st and 10, another ugly pass into coverage. Michelle Kenny wanting a pass interference call, but that's just poor judgment.
Poor judgment, thrown into coverage, but on the other hand, there's only 2 minutes left in the game. You got to score quick.
That'll take us to the 2-minute warning here in Chicago. Back to LFL football night. What a matchup next week, and we're headed to the Music City, the Austin Acoustic and the Nashville Knights, the debut of Danica Brace as head coach.
This is one of the games we've been looking forward to. I know it's early in the season. People think, oh, it's Nashville, it's going to be an expansion team, but no. She brought a lot of the top players with her from Seattle. This is going to be a fun game to watch. KK Matheny against Tashay Winfrey.
That is a third down attempt, and Michelle Kenny back in the game at quarterback. They probably just want to give her a couple more reps. Check that. That was second down. It'll be third down now.
Good move by Tui Suwanoa, putting her in the game. She has talent. This girl will be a good player, good quarterback in the league. She is so talented you can play her wherever you want to, wide receiver, quarterback, but this gives her some reps right now.
I like the thought of developing her behind Ashley Salerno. She is a young player. Again down the field, she has the arm strength. And look at that coverage, step by step. Dominique Collins.
Dominique Collins, again, one of the best cover corners in the game. The rookie quarterback went right at her. You can't do that. She just threw it up there. Collins is always going to cut underneath that ball and intercept it, but I like her guts, throwing deep, trying to get some points.
How about the job of Collins to get her head around, look for that football. I tell you what, she was close to retirement at the end of last season, a little disappointed with the way it ended, but she thought it was incomplete and wanted to come back again.
I think the whole team is like that, especially at quarterback. Jane Caldwell, definitely Dominique Collins, and you know Keith Hack, he had bad blood, leaving last year the way they did. He thought they were going to win another championship.
A 1st and 10 dribbler back to Jane Caldwell. Good pressure off the edge. And that's another bright spot for Los Angeles. Number 16, Katarina Nicholson. They really like her.
Nicholson's a player. They got her from Minnesota. Free agent came in there. You can see right there. She's got a lot of fire in it right there. One-handed tackle brings down Caldwell.
Chicago still getting after it here, nearing the 1 minute mark. Now you mentioned, Bobby Hugo, is there still a chance for Los Angeles to get in this one?
I don't think this one, but I'm going to tell you what, they will be back. There'll be a lot of fire. This is a big rivalry. There's no love lost between these two teams. When I talked to Coach Hack before the game, actually I talked to him twice this week, he can't stand LA. He doesn't like Salerno. He doesn't like Bourseau. This team will be back, and I guarantee you when they play Chicago for the second time, it's going to be a different game.
That's a scary picture for Chicago fans. Not sure why Jane Caldwell is still in this game, but she fell on that right elbow and got up, really nursing it and wincing.
That you do not want to see for your franchise quarterback, elbow problems this late in the game.
A 1st and 10, Jane Caldwell remains in the game, but it looks to be a victory formation, a very safe call for an ailing quarterback as the clock continues to run down on an impressive opening debut for Chicago. And for Los Angeles, you've got work to do.
A lot of work to do because that's a tough Western Conference over there. Seattle, you have Michelle Angel, who in my opinion can develop into one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So they have to kind of win a lot more games to even get to the playoffs because now Chicago's up one on them. You got Seattle, they're a solid team. It's going to be a fun year.
And let's not forget about Austin in the Western Conference. We get to see them next week versus Nashville. But tonight, it was all Chicago, dominating on both sides of the ball. The Aussie quarterback, Jane Caldwell, delivering. Their young buck, Tamika Robinson. This is a loaded roster. For Bobby Hugo, this is Mitch Mortaza. We say goodbye from Chicago. We will see you from the Music City on LFL Football Night.